British punk rap duo Bob Vylan just declared support for Palestine at Glastonbury, igniting a political firestorm. Ministers call for bans, fans cheer defiance. Is this a healthy debate or covert censorship? Tonight we'll unpack why an artist's voice becomes a battleground, comparing to Charlie Hebdo, pornography's impact on free expression, and Jordan Peterson on narcissists in dating. Get ready. We're smashing the web on speech, power, and decolonizing our institutions. In the electric dusk of Glastonbury 2025, as thunder rolled over Worthy Farm, Bob Vylan halted their set to unfurl a Palestinian flag. The crowd's roar became a digital roar, tweets spiked, Instagram stories blazed, and within minutes, free speech and cancel Bob trended side by side. News outlets pounced. The Home Office demanded strict action against politicising a music festival. BBC pundits fretted over the integrity of the apolitical stage. A Tory MP condemned the moment as reckless provocation, while commentators warned musicians to stick to tunes, not topics. Yet the ripples revealed deeper currents. Chart topper Stormzy tweeted solidarity, Dua Lipa shared the footage, but both faced merely polite criticism, nowhere near the crescendo of outrage Bob Vylan endured. It was a moment of stark asymmetry, one duo's act of conscience met with political vitriol, while mainstream stars spoke out with relative impunity. A YouGov poll captured Britain's divided soul. 48% of respondents back an artist's right to political speech, 38% oppose it, and the rest stand undecided. This fracture speaks to larger questions of decolonizing our cultural institutions, why some voices are amplified while others are silenced, and underscores the urgency of cultivating true emotional intelligence in our public discourse. Why we choose sides? Why do Bob Vylan's protest chords ignite condemnation, while another star's echo vanishes into applause? It's not politics, it's cognitive bias. We grant in-group voices a gentle pass, but brand the outsider dangerous. Social identity theory reveals our tribal wiring. We defend those who mirror our convictions and vilify those who unsettle our comfort. Consider Billy Bragg in 1985, singing solidarity with miners on strike. His anthems became national hymns, never censored, because his audience shared that struggle. Yet today, a Palestinian flag at Glastonbury unleashes hell. This selective outrage fractures our social fabric and erodes trust in genuine dissent. Revolt against this double standard. Name your biases, seek out art that challenges your echo chamber, and champion every voice, even those that unsettle your worldview. Music is not propaganda. It's a weapon of the future, as Fela Kuti declared, and we must wield it equally for all causes. Historical defiance by British singers. Britain's stages have always trembled beneath insurgent chords. In 1990, Farrell halted the Reading Festival to denounce the Gulf War, his voice a rallying cry eclipsing censorship. And long before, the Sex Pistols spat God Save the Queen at a monarchy they believed complicit in inequality. From Elvis Costello's anti-apartheid rallies to Jarvis Cocker flipping off Margaret Thatcher at Glastonbury 1995, British singers turned protest into performance. Their art wasn't mere entertainment, it was a mirror to the system's failings, a choice to speak truth to power. These acts of defiance remind us that art and activism share the same pulse. When you step onto a stage or share a post, ask yourself, are you merely echoing the status quo, or are you wielding your voice to recalibrate the world's moral compass? Freedom of speech, Charlie Hebdo versus censorship. In 2015, Charlie Hebdo's satirical caricatures set off global shockwaves. Was it art or hate? Western leaders rallied around free speech, even as Muslim communities mourned the hurt those images inflicted. Today, we defend that satire vigorously, yet we turn our backs when a singer raises a flag for human rights. This inconsistency reveals a harsh paradox. We exalt art when it jibes with our freedoms, but silence it when it exposes our blind spots. True freedom of speech cannot be selective. It must encompass the provocative, the uncomfortable, and, yes, the controversial. Ask yourself, do you champion caricature when it targets an outgroup, but condemn solidarity when it challenges your own? If our commitment to expression wavers with convenience, we've surrendered the very principle we claim to uphold. It's time to demand one standard for all voices, no exceptions. Pornography as freedom of expression while dehumanizing us. Pivot now to another contested sphere. Pornography, legal, ubiquitous, yet deeply problematic. Polls show heavy consumption correlates with a 30% rise in body image issues. Journal of Sex Research 2022. Porn's unchecked portrayal of intimacy warps expectations, reducing complex human connection into commodified spectacle. Campaigners like Andrea Dworkin labelled porn a public health emergency, arguing it perpetuates violence and objectification. Yet, society balks at calls to censor a protest flag while defending a multi-billion-dollar industry that normalizes the dehumanization of women and reduce a man's worth into the size of his organs. Isn't it odd that we tolerate one form of expression, porn, that corrodes genuine intimacy, but condemn another, political music, that channels deep moral conviction? If we claim to protect free speech, we must question which voices do we elevate and which do we silence. Dating dangers, accepted narcissism and abuse. Dating apps, the nightmare for our love lives, a danger and a moral bankrupt activity we need to use to meet potential love. Are you happy to hear that women struggle a lot? Then listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson warns of psychopaths and narcissists exploiting vulnerability in relationships, echoing how public figures exploit audiences. We accept this corrupt system to destroy our lives and trust in others, while we find an artist expression of opinion appalling. On dating apps, we curate an idealized self. In politics, we perform slogans for applause. Both can erode authenticity. When does self-expression become manipulation? If every swipe or chant is filtered through a lens of self-interest, we lose genuine connection. True social intelligence demands we ask, are we listening to hearts or just amplifying our own echo? Reflect on Peterson's advice. Spot the narcissist's charisma, then test their consistency. Do their actions match their words? Apply this to every context, art, activism, and personal relationships alike. Decolonizing systems and institutions. We've jumped from music protests to satire, porn, and dating, but the through line is clear. Who controls our narrative? To decolonize means dismantling power structures that decide which voices matter, be it a pop star, a cartoonist, or a private citizen. Real decolonization happens with desexualization, an emancipatory force for all marginalized and silenced, reshapes curricula, diversifies boardrooms, and rewrites media gatekeeping so that underrepresented perspectives thrive. Platforms like First Draft and Decolonise Media UK champion these reforms. They audit bias, elevate marginalised storytellers, and hold institutions accountable. Your role? Demand transparency in algorithms, champion community-led media, and vote with your attention. Subscribe to channels that reflect global diversity, support artists who challenge colonial legacies, and amplify those traditionally silenced. Decolonizing is not a moment, it's a movement toward genuine equity in every sphere of expression. If you believe all voices deserve an equal stage, smash that subscribe button, share this video, and join our uprising for true free speech. Let's rally for 1 million views in 72 hours, not for vanity, but to ignite a revolution of justice, art, and unfiltered truth. Together, we'll tear down selective censorship, decolonize every institution, and forge a world where authenticity reigns. Until next time, be bold, be critical, be free.